You raised them with love, paid their bills, gave up your dreams, and still your own son tells you you're not invited to the trip you paid for. I spent 3 years saving $22,000, cutting heat, selling my furniture, tutoring until midnight, just to take my family to Hawaii and honor my late husband. Then a text lit up my phone. You won't be joining us. Lauren prefers her family. I'm Evelyn. I gave up everything for my children. But when they erased me from my own dream, I didn't stay silent. I took back my power. If you stay with me, I'll show you how I exposed my son's lies, reclaimed my dignity, and turned betrayal into a bond of sisterhood. You'll learn how to protect your heart and your money before it's too late. My son smashed my keepsake box, hid the $50,000 inheritance Henry left just for me, and called me useless in front of everyone. So I froze the funds and took 5 forgotten women to Hawaii instead. If you think silence will save you, it won't. Watch now before your sacrifices disappear, just like mine almost did. Before we dive in, I'd love to know a little about you. Are you someone who believes in second chances, or do you cut ties when trust is broken? Leave a 1 if you're the forgiving type, a 2 if you walk away, or 3 if it depends on the story. Your voice matters here. This isn't just my journey, it's ours. Let's begin together. My hands wrap an aloha keychain for Mia, the last piece of our Hawaiian dream. Lauren's cold glance at tonight's potluck chills my heart like a winter breeze sneaking through a cracked window. I sit at my kitchen table, the scent of apple pie cooling on the counter, its crust golden and flaking, a labor of love for tomorrow's gathering. It's April 2024, and my suburban California home hums with the quiet of evening, the dim overhead lights casting long shadows across the linoleum. Those shadows stretch toward the travel brochures, fanned out before me, each glossy page, promising sun-soaked beaches and family laughter. I've been planning this Hawaiian trip for 3 years, every dollar scraped from late-night tutoring sessions, every skipped coffee run tucked into a savings account, now brimming with $22,000. This trip isn't just a vacation. It's a chance to bring us together to honor Henry, my husband, whose laughter still echoes from our 1984 honeymoon under those same palm trees. Will this trip revive his memory or bury mine in the sand? I thread a ribbon around Mia's keychain, her name written in my careful cursive. My fingers ache from wrapping gifts for the grandkids. Keychains, sun hats, little shells etched with Grandma loves you. I picture us all on the beach, Mia's hand in mine, asking about her grandpa. Henry's voice, rough with joy, fills my mind. Evelyn will show them the ocean someday. I sacrificed so much for this canceled cable, wore socks to bed to save on heat, sold my old dining table. All for them. For Ryan, my son, who used to draw me as a superhero. For Sophie, my daughter, who once called me her anchor. For their kids, who deserve to know Henry's love through me. But tonight at the neighborhood potluck, something felt wrong. Lauren, Ryan's wife, barely looked at me. Her eyes slid past, sharp and deliberate, like I was a guest who'd overstayed. The memory of the potluck stings. I'd brought my apple pie, the one neighbors always rave about, and set it on the folding table under the Thompsons' backyard string lights. Conversation buzzed, kids chasing fireflies, the clink of lemonade glasses, the hum of a spring evening. I started telling a story about Henry, how he burned his shoulders red on our honeymoon and wore a bedsheet like a cape. The group chuckled, but Lauren cut in. Voice clipped. That's nice, Evelyn, but let's talk about the kids' school play. Her smile was tight, her eyes rolling just enough to notice. I faltered, my words trailing off. Ryan, standing by her, didn't meet my gaze. He sipped his beer, nodding at Lauren's pivot. Then as I tried to add, Henry loved the ocean, Ryan snapped loud enough for the yard to hush. You're just a burden now, Mom. Stop dragging up the past. My face burned, cheeks hot as the pie I'd baked. Neighbors shifted their whispers sharp as knives. Diane, my friend, touched my arm, but the humiliation sank deep, a stone in my chest. I mumbled an excuse and left the pie untouched. Now back in my kitchen, the fridge hums a steady drone against the silence. I stack the keychains, my hands trembling. Ryan's words echo a burden. I gave up my nursing shifts to raise him, paid for his college when Henry's heart gave out. I tutored kids online, eyes burning to fund this trip. For what? To be dismissed. Diane's voice breaks the quiet as she steps through my back door, her sneakers squeaking on the floor. "Evelyn, you okay?" she asks, setting a coffee mug on the table. Her eyes, kind but sharp, carry the weight of her own story. Her son cut her off when she refused to bankroll his failed startup. "You're more than their wallet," she says softly. I nod, but my throat tightens. I open my phone, the travel app glowing with flight details for 9Me. Ryan, Lauren, their kids, Sophie, Mia, and Lauren's parents. I check the balance, $22,000, every cent mine. Diane leans closer. "Don't let them dim you," she says. Her words spark something, but doubt coils tighter. Did I raise them, or did they erase me? I force a smile, pushing the brochures aside. Diane sips her coffee, her presence a quiet anchor. I think of Henry, how he'd hum jazz tunes while cooking his hands steady, as he promised we'd return to Hawaii. This trip was supposed to be his legacy, our family standing together on the shore he loved. But Ryan's voice, a burden, cuts through that dream. My fingers hover over the app, the screen bright against the dim kitchen. I want to believe we can still be whole, that the ocean will mend us. But Lauren's eye roll, Ryan's silence, the neighbors' stares, they gnaw at me. The phone buzzes, Ryan's name flashing. My heart lurches. What does he want now? The buzz hums again, insistent as I stare at the screen. Diane watches her mug still. I don't answer, not yet. The apple pie sits cold, its crust crumbling like my hope. I clutch Mia's keychain, its aloha glinting under the light. This trip was my gift, my heart laid bare. But tonight I feel unseen, a shadow in my own story. I set the phone down, face burning with Ryan's words, and wonder if Henry's memory will carry us through, or if I'm clinging to a dream already lost. My phone glows at 11:02 p.m., Ryan's name flashing like a warning. His text reads, "You won't be joining us. Lauren prefers her family." My heart cracks open, a sharp, silent split. I sit frozen at my kitchen table, the fridge humming low in the dark, its drone the only sound in this quiet suburban night. The phone's light casts a harsh glow, isolating me in my own home. I clutch Henry's photo, his smile frozen in a walnut frame, the one from our 1984 honeymoon, when his laughter filled the Hawaiian air. That smile fades now, like my place in this family, as Ryan's words sink in. I've spent 3 years saving for this trip, $22,000, every penny, from skipped lunches, late-night tutoring, and sold furniture. I thought it would bring us together, honor Henry's memory, with sand under our feet and candles lit for him. But Ryan's text cuts through that dream like a knife through my apple pie. I read the text again, my glasses slipping down my nose. The words blur, but they burn. "You won't be joining us." I scroll down and another message appears. "It's not personal. Mom, not personal." My breath catches a sob trapped in my throat. I close my eyes and Ryan's childhood flashes his crayon drawings. Stick figure me with a cape labeled "Mom Saves the Day." He'd run to me with pink tulips every spring, his grin wide as the sky. I paid for his college work double shifts when Henry's heart failed. Tutored kids online until my eyes ached, all for this trip for him, for Sophie, for Mia. Now his words, "Lauren prefers her family, make me a stranger." Lauren's influence hovers, her sharp voice from the potluck last night echoing, "Let's talk about the kids' play." She'd rolled her eyes, cutting my story short. Ryan stood silent, sipping his beer. Was that when I became invisible? I set the phone down and shuffled to the duffel bag by the door, packed with sundresses and Henry's lavender candle, the one I'd planned to light on the beach. My fingers tremble as I unzip it, pulling out the candle. Its scent hits me soft and familiar, like Henry's hand on mine. I'd imagined us all barefoot, Mia asking, "Did Grandpa love the beach?" I'd say he loved it enough to share it with me. Tears fall hot on my cheeks as I whisper, "Was I enough?" The candle sits heavy in my hands, meant for a family memorial that won't happen. I see Lauren's tight smile, her control over Ryan, her family taking my place in the villa I booked. My sacrifices, cold nights without heat, no new shoes, hours squinting at a screen, feel foolish now. I gave everything and they've left me behind. Back at the table, the fridge's hum grows louder, a steady pulse against my racing thoughts. I pick up the phone, my thumb hovering over the reply button. I type, "Why Ryan?" My finger shakes, then stops. What can I say? Please let me come. I delete the words, each tap erasing a piece of my hope. The screen dims, and I'm alone again, the suburban quiet pressing in. I think of Henry, how he'd hum jazz tunes, promising we'd return to Hawaii. This trip was his dream, too, a way to show Mia and the others what love looks like. But Ryan's text, not personal, feels like a slap cold and calculated, dismissing every dollar, every sleepless night. Lauren's shadow looms, her voice shaping his cruelty. I funded their flights, their villa, their snorkeling lessons, and now I'm not even a guest. I set the phone face down, its light snuffed out. The kitchen feels smaller, the walls closer, as if the house itself knows I've been cast out. I trace the candle's wick, my chest tight. Was I their mother, or just their bank? The question stings sharp as Ryan's words at the potluck. I think of Diane, her kind eyes last night, her story of her son's betrayal. She'd said, "You're more than their wallet." I want to believe her, but doubt curls in my gut. I glance at the phone and a new notification blinks, an email from the travel agency. My heart lurches. Could it hold the truth behind Ryan's text? I hesitate, fingers hovering, afraid of what I'll find. The fridge hums on steady as my heartbeat, urging me to look. The email icon glows a tiny beacon in the dark. I don't open it, not yet. The lavender candle sits before me, its scent mingling with the pie's lingering sweetness. I clutch Henry's photo, his smile a quiet promise. This trip was supposed to weave us together, but Ryan's words have unraveled it all. I sit in the silence, the suburban night, swallowing my hope, wondering if there's anything left to salvage or if the truth will break me further. The travel agency email waits unopened, its icon glowing on my phone like a warning I can't ignore. I'm terrified of what it'll confirm, my fingers frozen over the screen. I sit in my cluttered den, the travel app casting a blue hue across papers strewn on the oak desk, receipts, brochures, dreams I built for $22,000. Outside, the farmer's market hums voices and laughter drifting through the open window, a cruel contrast to the silence gripping my chest. Henry's voice whispers in my mind, low and steady from years ago, "You're stronger than this, Evelyn." But am I last night's text from Ryan? "You won't be joining us." Lauren prefers her family, still burns his words, a blade slicing through 3 years of sacrifice. I clutch his photo, its walnut frame cool against my palms, and wonder if the family I've poured my heart into has already cast me out. I force myself to move, stepping outside to the farmer's market across the street, hoping fresh air will clear the fog in my head. The April sun warms the stalls where neighbors barter over tomatoes and homemade jam, their chatter lively with suburban gossip. I spot Ryan near a honey stand, his broad shoulders hunched as he scrolls his phone. My heart lurches. Maybe I can fix this. I approach, my voice trembling. "Ryan, how could you exclude me from the trip?" His eyes flick up cold and he snaps loud enough for shoppers to turn. "Your sacrifices don't matter anymore, Mom. Just stop." My face flushes hot as the pavement under my feet. A woman with a basket pauses, her gaze pitying. Another whispers to her friend, their murmurs sharp as thorns. I stand rooted, Ryan's words echoing his potluck insult. "You're a burden." My hands shake, clutching my purse as shame washes over me. I gave up my nursing shifts for his college-tutored kids online for this trip, and now I'm nothing. I turn away, my vision blurring, the market's buzz fading to a dull roar. Back home, I slump into a chair in the den. The farmer's market sounds muffled now, like my hope. The door creaks, and Diane steps in her sneakers, soft on the hardwood. She hands me a coffee, its steam, curling like a question. "Evelyn, you look like you've seen a ghost," she says, her eyes kind but sharp. She sits across from me, her own pain etched in her frown. Her son cut her off years ago when she refused to fund his failing business. Ryan said my sacrifices don't matter. I choke out, my voice cracking. Diane leans forward, her voice firm. "You're more than their bank account. Check the bookings, Evelyn. See what they're hiding." Her words spark something, a flicker of defiance amidst the hurt. I nod my fingers, brushing Henry's photo on the desk. His smile, caught mid-laugh, feels like a lifeline. I sacrificed everything, canceled cable, skipped dinners out, sold my old rocker for this trip for them. Diane sips her coffee, watching me. "You're stronger than his words," she says, echoing Henry. "If you found out you were erased from something you built with your own hands, would you stay silent?" What I discovered next shattered more than just trust. If you're still watching, drop a 6 in the comments, because this part still haunts me. I open my phone, the travel app, glowing, my heart pounding like the market's distant drum. The email from the agency sits there, subject line stark, Hawaii family passage. I hesitate, my thumb hovering, Ryan's voice ringing, "Your sacrifices don't matter." I tap the screen, scanning the names Ryan, Lauren, their kids, Lauren's parents, Sophie, Mia, 8 guests. My breath catches. My name's missing. I read again, hoping I've misread, but it's clear I'm not invited. The room spins the den's clutter, closing in brochures, receipts, all mocking me. I grip Henry's photo, its frame grounding me, and my hurt hardens into resolve. They planned this deliberately, leaving me out of the villa I paid for, the flights I booked, the dream I built. Did I build their dream or my own delusion? Diane touches my arm. "You'll find the truth," she says. I nod, my jaw, tight determination rising like a tide. The email stares back, a silent betrayal. I set the phone down, the farmer's market's chatter now a faint hum, like my fading hope. Henry's photo watches me, his eyes steady, urging me forward. Ryan's cruelty. Lauren's control, the missing name. They're pieces of a puzzle I'm only starting to see. The den feels smaller, the air thick with questions. I think of Mia, her bright voice asking for stories, and Sophie, distant but kind. Is there more they're hiding? I lean back, the chair creaking, and stare at the email icon. The truth is, they're waiting, but it feels like a door I'm not ready to open. Not yet. The email lists 8 names, none mine. Ryan's betrayal cuts deeper than his words ever could, a silent wound that throbs in my chest. I sit in my living room, suburban California, pressing in the half-unpacked suitcases by the door, mocking me with their bright floral patterns. The coffee shop across the street hums its chatter, drifting through my open window. Laughter, clinking mugs, life moving on without me. My eyes drift to the closet where Henry's old keepsake box sits, its wooden lid, whispering secrets I'm not ready to face. His photo rests on the coffee table, his smile steady from our 1984 honeymoon when we danced under Hawaiian stars. I'd planned this trip to bring that joy back, to stitch our family together with $22,000 of my savings, every tutoring session, every skipped grocery run, every cold night without heat. But Ryan's text, "You won't be joining us," and the email's omission have unraveled it all. I grip the armrest, my knuckles white as anger bubbles beneath my hurt. I pick up my phone, my thumb shaking as I dial Lauren. Maybe she can explain the email, the missing name. Her voice answers sharp as a blade. "It's handled Evelyn. Stay out of it." My breath catches at her tone, but I press on. "Lauren, I paid for the trip. Why am I not listed?" She sighs loud and dismissive. "We've got it covered. Just relax." The call ends her words, a slap. I head to the coffee shop to meet her, hoping to talk face to face. The shop buzzes with suburban gossip regulars sipping lattes, their eyes flicking toward me as I approach Lauren at a corner table. She's sorting travel documents, her lips pursed. I start, "Lauren, I need to understand." She cuts me off, standing abruptly, and pushes me aside with her shoulder, her voice dripping. "You're in the way, Evelyn." I stumble, catching the table's edge. A barista glances over her face tight with secondhand embarrassment. Regulars whisper their stares like needles. My cheeks burn. Lauren's push, a physical echo of Ryan's, "You're a burden," from the potluck. I leave my heart-pounding anger rising like steam from the coffee I didn't order. Back home, the living room feels smaller, the suitcases a cruel reminder of my exclusion. The coffee shop's chatter fades, replaced by the tick of my wall clock. The door creaks and Diane steps in her gray sweater, soft against the afternoon light. She sets a thermos of coffee on the table, her eyes searching mine. "What happened, Evelyn?" She asks, her voice warm but edged with her own pain. She sits sharing her story. "My son cut me off when I stopped paying his debts. He called me selfish, but I was just done being used." Her words mirror my hurt, her estrangement a shadow of mine. "Check Henry's box," she urges, nodding toward the closet. "There might be answers." I hesitate, my fingers brushing the suitcases. Diane's hand rests on mine. "You're not just their bank," she says. Her strength born from her own loss sparks something in me. I nod my jaw tight and move to the closet, the air heavy with possibility. I pull the keepsake box from the shelf. It's wood, worn but warm like Henry's hands. My fingers tremble as I lift the lid, revealing old photos, a jazz record and a folded paper, a letter fragment in Henry's scrawl. I unfold it, my breath shallow. "Savings account for your future." It reads the words, incomplete, a puzzle piece. My heart races. Henry left something for me hidden all these years. I whisper, "I'm not invisible." My voice steady for the first time today. The fragment hints at a secret, a gift Ryan and Lauren might know about. My anger hardens into resolve, Lauren's push, and Ryan's words fueling me. I think of Mia, her bright eyes, and Sophie, distant but kind. Am I fighting for them or for myself? The question hangs sharp as the coffee shops chatter. Diane watches her nod firm. "You'll find the truth," she says, her own fight reflected in her eyes. I set the letter down the living room quiet, except for the clock's steady tick. The suitcases loom, half unpacked, a symbol of my broken dream. Henry's photo stares back, his smile urging me forward. Lauren's push. Ryan's cruelty. The email's omission. They're not mistakes. They're choices. The fragment's words, "Your future pulse in my mind," a clue to something bigger. I glance at the closet, the box still open, and wonder what else Henry hid. The letter mentions a bank. What did he keep from me? I stand my hand steady, the coffee shop's hum fading outside. The truth is out there, and I'm ready to find it no matter how much it hurts. Henry's letter fragment speaks of a savings account, its words jagged in my trembling hands. Did he leave something for me hidden all these years? I sit in my bedroom, the suburban California night, pressing against the window, a single lamp casting shadows over Henry's keepsake box on my quilted bedspread. The shadows flicker, mirroring my uncertainty, but a spark of hope glimmers too. Family photos line the nightstand, Mia's grin, Sophie's graduation, Ryan as a boy, all staring back, silent witnesses to my unraveling dream. Henry's love feels closer, his smile in the walnut frame, warm from our 1984 honeymoon, but a darker truth about Ryan looms heavy as the quiet in this room. The email from the travel agency with its 8 names and none mine sits open on my phone, a wound I can't stop touching. I've poured $22,000 into this Hawaiian trip, tutoring nights, skipped coffee runs, sold furniture, and now I'm erased. My fingers brush the fragment Henry's scrawl promising a future, and I wonder if he saw this betrayal coming. I open the email again, my glasses slipping as I scan the names. Ryan, Lauren, their kids, Lauren's parents, Sophie, Mia. No Evelyn. My breath catches, and I whisper, "They planned this." The words taste bitter, like the coffee I haven't touched. The phone rings, Sophie's name flashing. Her voice is hesitant, soft. "Mom, is something wrong with Ryan? He's been weird about the trip." My heart lurches. She doesn't know. I grip the phone, my voice tight. "He didn't tell you," I ask, but I can't say more, not yet. Sophie's silence feels heavy, her guilt a thread pulling us closer. I think of Henry, how he'd hum jazz tunes, promising we'd return to Hawaii. This trip was meant to weave us together, but Ryan and Lauren have cut me out. The lamp hums its light steady, urging me to keep looking to find the truth in Henry's words. The doorbell chimes, and I shuffle downstairs, the keepsake box tucked under my arm. Sophie stands there, Mia at her side, her small face bright with a smile. Grandma Mia cries her arms wrapping around me, warm and fierce. I want you on the trip. Her words are a balm soothing the sting of Ryan's text. Sophie's eyes shadowed with regret meet mine. I messed up, Mom, she says, her voice cracking. I was so mad when you missed my 25th birthday. You were working, but I felt ignored. I nod, remembering that hospital shift, the exhaustion, the guilt. I wanted to be there. I say, my throat tight. Mia tugs my hand, her braid bouncing. Tell me about Grandpa's beach. I smile, but the email's weight pulls me back. Sophie touches my arm. What's going on with Ryan, she asks again. I show her the email, her eyes widening at the missing name. Her support, born of her own regret, feels like a lifeline, but anger simmers beneath it. Ryan and Lauren's betrayal is deliberate, a silent slap that makes my blood boil. Diane arrives, her sneakers squeaking on the hardwood as she steps into the bedroom. She sees the letter fragment on the bed, her eyes sharp with her own history, her son's betrayal when she stopped funding his failures. Keep looking, Evelyn, she says, her voice firm. I fought for my worth. You can, too. Her words echo Henry's. You're stronger than this. I open the keepsake box again, my fingers brushing old photos, a jazz record, and then another fragment tucked in a corner. Henry's writing faded but clear, $50,000 for your dreams. My heart races. $50,000 hidden from me. I look at Diane, her nod steady. They're hiding something, she says, her own fight reflected in her gaze. The email's 8 names, the letters promise, they point to a truth Ryan and Lauren don't want me to find. My anger grows tempered by Sophie's remorse, Mia's hug, Diane's strength. Did Henry see their betrayal coming, or am I alone in this? I set the fragments down, the lamp's glow soft on the family photos. Mia curls up beside me, her warmth a reminder of why I planned this trip for her, for Sophie, for Henry's memory. Sophie sits close, her hand on mine, her guilt a bridge we're starting to cross. Diane leans against the doorframe, her presence a quiet anchor. The email and letter clues confirm Ryan's deceit, pushing me toward action. My resolve hardens a fire kindled by their exclusion. The suburban night is quiet, the bedroom still, but my heart pounds with purpose. Sophie's phone buzzes and she frowns, listening. It's Ryan, she whispers, her voice tense. He mentioned an account. My breath catches. What does he know? The lamp hums, the keepsake box open. Henry's words urging me forward. The truth is close, and I'm not backing down. Sophie's words echo sharp and urgent. She heard Ryan mention an account. My finger hovers over the bank app, ready to change everything. I sit in my den, the laptop's glow cutting through the dimness, a storm brewing outside, its low rumble echoing my resolve. Rain taps the windows, a restless rhythm matching my pulse. Henry's letter, now pieced together on the desk, feels like a lifeline, its words $50,000 for your dreams, a promise he left me. But will it save me or break what's left of us? The travel agency email with its 8 names and none mine still burns a reminder of Ryan's betrayal. I've poured $22,000 into this Hawaiian trip, tutoring nights, skipped dinners, sold heirlooms only to be erased. The storm growls and I grip Henry's photo, his smile steady in its walnut frame, urging me to act. Ryan's text, Lauren's pushed the letters secret, they've pushed me too far. I'm not just a mother, I'm a woman with power and it's time to use it. Sophie sits across from me, her eyes wide with guilt and fire. I overheard Ryan on the phone, she confesses, her voice low. He was talking about hiding Henry's account, Mom. He said it was for our future, not yours. My heart lurches, anger flaring hot. I unfold the full letter from Henry's keepsake box, found after last night's fragments. His scrawl is clear, Evelyn. I left $50,000 for your security. You deserve this. My breath catches. $50,000 hidden by Ryan. Sophie's hand trembles on mine, her remorse rooted in that missed 25th birthday when I worked late, leaving her feeling alone. I should have trusted you, she whispers. Her support, born of that old wound, steadies me. I think of Henry, how he'd work late, too, but left this gift to say what he couldn't in life. Ryan knew and kept it secret, his greed a knife in my back. The storm outside cracks lightning flashing and my anger peaks. He took my money, my place, my trust. The phone rings, Ryan's name flashing. I answer, my voice tight. Mom checked the travel fund, he says, casual, oblivious. Something's up with the bookings. His tone, dismissive as ever, stokes my fury. I open the bank app, the screen glowing with my travel fund, $22,000, every cent mine. My finger hovers over freeze account, my heart pounding like the rain on the roof. You excluded me, I say, my voice low. He laughs sharp. It's just easier, Mom. Easier. The word is a slap his entitlement laid bare. I think of Lauren's push at the coffee shop, her sneer, "You're in the way." I click freeze account. The screen flashes. Transactions paused. My breath catches a rush of power surging through me. The storm roars as if cheering. Ryan's voice fades, and I hang up my hands steady for the first time in days. I've stopped their plans, not mine. Diane bursts through the door, her umbrella dripping, her grin wide. You did it? She claps her eyes bright with her own victory. She set boundaries with her son years ago, refusing to fund his failures. You're taking your life back. Evelyn. Her cheer, born of her own empowerment, lights the room. I grip Henry's photo, its frame cool, and feel the weight lift. The letter lies open. Henry's words a shield. You deserve this. Sophie nods, her hand still on mine. I'm with you, Mom. She says, her voice firm. Her loyalty, Mia's hug, Diane's strength. They're my family now, not Ryan's betrayal. But dread creeps in as I imagine his reaction. The laptop hums, the app still open, a digital fortress I control. Did I just break their plans or my own chains? The question pulses sharp as the thunder outside. The den feels alive, the storm's growl, a backdrop to my newfound power. Sophie sits close, her presence, a bridge rebuilt. Diane pours coffee from her thermos, the scent grounding me. The travel app glows, its paused status, a quiet triumph. But Ryan's casual call, his laughter gnaws at me. He knew about Henry's account, hid it for his own gain. The rain pounds harder, and I wonder how he'll react when the cards fail. My phone buzzes, Ryan's name flashing again, a frantic text. The cards aren't working. Fix it, Mom. My heart skips. How will he face this? The storm rages, and I hold Henry's photo ready for whatever comes next. Ryan's text burns my screen. Fix the account, Mom. But I'm done fixing his mistakes. I sit in my living room, suburban California rain tapping the windows, a steady patter that mirrors my racing heart. Henry's keepsake box lies open on the coffee table, its wooden lid scuffed, whispering truths, or more pain. The storm outside growls low and restless as my laptop glows with the travel app's transactions paused message. I froze the fund yesterday, $22,000 of my sacrifices, tutoring nights, skipped coffee runs, sold heirlooms now locked away from Ryan's grasp. His text demanding I undo it fuels my anger hot and sharp. Henry's diary tucked in the box might hold more secrets, but I'm not sure I'm ready for them. His photo watches me, its walnut frame catching the lamplight, his smile from our 1984 honeymoon steady but distant. Ryan's betrayal. His text. The email's 8 names without mine. His hidden knowledge of Henry's $50,000 has cut me deep. I'm not just a mother anymore. I'm a woman fighting for her worth. The front door slams open and Ryan storms in his face, red rain dripping from his jacket. You froze the account, he shouts, his voice booming over the rain. You've ruined our trip, Mom. I stand, my hands trembling, but my voice is steady. You excluded me, Ryan. I paid for it. His eyes narrow and he steps closer, snatching the keepsake box from the table. "You're so selfish," he yells and smashes it to the floor. Letters scatter Henry's handwriting, fluttering like wounded birds. My heart lurches as a photo of us, Henry, Ryan, me laughing years ago, tears at the corner. I gasp, my knees weak. "Those are mine," I cry, but Ryan's face twists. "You've ruined everything," he roars, stomping out, leaving the wreckage behind. The rain pounds and I sink to the floor, gathering the letters, my fingers brushing Henry's words. His diary, half buried, catches my eye. Ryan's destruction feels like a fist, shattering my memories, and my anger surges raw and fierce. I think of Mia's hug, Sophie's support, and know I can't let this break me. Sophie bursts through the door, her coat-soaked Mia trailing behind her braid damp. "Mom, what happened?" Sophie asks, her eyes wide as she sees the scattered letters. Mia kneels beside me, her small hands helping gather papers. "Grandma, why's Uncle Ryan so mad?" she whispers, her voice trembling. I force a smile, my chest tight. Sophie's face hardens. I heard him on the phone. She says, her voice low with guilt. He was talking about using Dad's account to pay his debts. He knew Mom. Her words rooted in her remorse for our distance when I missed her 25th birthday for a hospital shift hit like a spark. I pick up Henry's diary, it's leather-worn, and open it. A note in his scrawl reads, "Ryan asked about the account 2020. Told him it's for Evelyn." My breath catches. Ryan knew about the $50,000 meant for my security and hid it for himself. Sophie touches my shoulder, her loyalty, a bridge rebuilding. Mia's eyes, bright with love, ground me. My anger burns hotter, but Sophie's support kindles resolve. I won't let Ryan erase me. Diane arrives, her umbrella dripping the smell of grilled chicken from her neighbor's barbecue clinging to her. She sees the broken box, her face softening with her own pain. Her son cut her off when she stopped funding his failures. "Ryan's just like mine," she says, sitting beside me, greedy, blind to what matters. She picks up a torn letter, her voice firm. "You're not alone, Evelyn. There are others like us, women, overlooked, forgotten. Let's take them to Hawaii instead." Her words, born from her own estrangement, light a fire in me. I nod, grabbing a notepad, and sketch a list: Grace, who cares for her sister; Pat, grieving her husband; Linda, abandoned; Ellen, invisible; Ruth, excluded by her grandkids. My anger shifts to purpose, the rain outside softening, as if in agreement. "We'll go," I say, my voice steady. Diane grins, her eyes bright. "That's the Evelyn I know." Mia claps her bracelet, jingling a gift she made me. Sophie smiles, her guilt easing. I clutch Henry's diary, its note a micro twist, deepening Ryan's betrayal, pushing me toward a new path. The living room feels alive, the rain's patter, a backdrop to my resolve. The broken box lies scattered, but Henry's photo stands firm, his smile urging me on. Sophie sits close, her hand on mine, our bond stronger now. Mia curls beside me, her warmth a reminder of why I fight. Diane's plan, a trip for women like us, feels right. A family I choose, not one that discards me. Ryan's greed is destruction of my memories, has fractured us beyond repair. Can I rebuild what he broke or start anew? The question hangs sharp as the storm's last rumble. I set the diary down, my hand steady, and notice Mia slipping something into my pocket, a small recorder, her eyes nervous. "I taped Uncle Ryan," she whispers. My heart skips. What will it reveal? The rain slows, the suburban night quiet, but my resolve burns bright, ready for whatever truth comes next. Mia's recording of Ryan sits on my phone, his voice sneering, "Mom's useless." My resolve hardens, a steel rod in my spine. I sit in my home office, suburban California's quiet, broken by the buzz of the family group chat on my laptop, its screen glowing against the evening dim. A jazz record spins softly, Henry's favorite, its notes curling like defiance around the room. Rain from yesterday's storm lingers in the air, the scent of wet grass seeping through the window. Henry's strength flows through me, his photo on the desk, steady in its walnut frame, a beacon from our 1984 honeymoon. But Ryan's shadow threatens to linger, his betrayal, hiding Henry's $50,000 account, smashing my keepsake box, excluding me from the trip I funded with $22,000 of sacrifices burning hot in my chest. The group chat pings a new message from Ryan and my heart braces for what's next. I tap the recording, Mia's gift, and Ryan's voice fills the room cold and sharp. Mom's useless, outdated clinging to Dad's memory. My blood boils his words, a knife twisting deeper than his text or the broken box. The group chat erupts. Ryan's message flashing Mom's outdated sabotaging our trip. His public attack calling me useless feels like a punch. My breath catching as notifications pile up Lauren's thumbs up, her parents' silence. The jazz record hums its rhythm, urging me to fight back. I think of Henry, how he'd hum these tunes promising we'd return to Hawaii. I funded that dream tutoring night, skipped groceries, sold heirlooms, only to be erased. My fingers clench, anger giving way to resolve. Ryan's desperation fueled by his failing real estate ventures, and Lauren's pressure for a lavish life has pushed him too far. I'm done being their shadow. Sophie bursts in her coat, damp Mia trailing behind her braids swinging. Mom, I saw Ryan's message. Sophie says, her eyes fierce with loyalty. He's wrong. Mia nods, her small hand slipping into mine. You're not useless, Grandma. She whispers, her voice a spark of hope. Sophie's remorse, born from our distance when I missed her 25th birthday for a hospital shift, drives her now. We need to tell everyone, she urges, her voice steady. Diane follows her sneakers, squeaking, her face lit with the fire of her own fight. She refused her son's demands years ago, reclaiming her worth. Expose him, Evelyn, Diane says, setting her coffee thermos down. Write it all. I open a group email, my fingers trembling but sure. Ryan hid Henry's gift, I type, detailing the $50,000 account, the frozen fund, his insults. Sophie nods, her hand on my shoulder. Mia watches, her eyes wide, her love a quiet anchor. Diane's grin is fierce. You're taking your power back, she says, her own resilience shining through. The jazz notes soar, and I feel Henry's strength urging me to hit send. I pause the cursor, blinking the group chat, still buzzing with Ryan's venom. My heart races, the weight of 3 years, $22,000, sleepless nights, sold memories pressing down. I add a line, I gave everything and you called me useless. The words are raw, my voice in ink. Sophie squeezes my hand, her loyalty a bridge rebuilt. Mia's bracelet, handmade and jingling on my wrist, grounds me. Diane leans over, reading the draft. It's perfect, she says, her eyes bright with her own victory over her son's greed. I hit send the laptop, chiming my breath, catching as the email flies to the family. Ryan, Lauren, Sophie, their cousins' aunts. The jazz record spins its melody bold now, like my defiance. Ryan's phone call comes instantly, his voice furious through the speaker. What the hell, Mom, he shouts. I hang up my hand steady and turn to Diane. This is my family now, I say, sketching plans for the women's trip, Grace, Pat, Linda, Ellen, Ruth. My resolve solidifies, anger burned away by action. Have I ever been enough for them? The question lingers sharp as the record's final note. The office feels alive, the laptop's glow a beacon of my stand. Sophie sits close, her support unwavering, her guilt easing with every word we share. Mia curls beside me, her warmth a reminder of love that doesn't demand payment. Diane's thermos steams, the coffee's scent mingling with the rain's damp earth. The group chat falls silent. Ryan's attack unanswered, my email, a public truth. I sketch names on the notepad. Women like me, overlooked, ready for Hawaii. The jazz fades, and I think of Henry, his photo watching his strength in me. Ryan's call. His voice shaking comes again. I hid the account. Okay, my heart skips. Will he confess fully? The rain slows the suburban night still, but my resolve burns brighter than ever, ready for his next move. Ryan's voice cracks through the phone, admitting he hid Henry's account, and my heart steals as I pack for Hawaii. I stand in my suburban California home, suitcases zipped tight by the door, a Hawaiian lei draped over the table, its petals bright with hope. The living room hums with quiet, the air thick with the promise of a new beginning, not Ryan's ending, but mine. Henry's photo sits on the counter, his smile steady in its walnut frame, a beacon from our 1984 honeymoon. The women's trip for Grace, Pat, Linda, Ellen, Ruth, and me will be my rebirth, not his redemption. Ryan's betrayal, hiding Henry's $50,000, smashing my keepsake box, calling me useless in the group chat, has burned away my doubts. I've frozen the $22,000 travel fund, my sacrifices from tutoring nights, and sold heirlooms now my shield. The Lay's scent, sweet and tropical, fills the room, and I know I'm done carrying Ryan's weight. The family meeting is tense, held at Sophie's house. The dining room crowded with cousins, aunts, and the sting of Ryan's words. He stands his jaw tight, rain from last night's storm still dripping outside. "You didn't need the money, Mom," he defends, his voice loud. "You forced my hand by freezing the account." Gasps ripple through the room, my sister's eyes wide. My cousin's fork paused mid-bite. I clutch Henry's photo, its frame cool, and stay calm, my voice low. "You hid Henry's gift, Ryan. You excluded me from the trip I paid for." His face reddens, his hands clenched. "You're making this about you." He snaps his deflection, a public wound, raw and cruel. My chest tightens, but I stand tall, the Lay's scent lingering in my memory. Ryan's greed, driven by his failing real estate deals, and Lauren's demands, has stripped him bare. The family's stares burn their silence, a chorus of outrage urging me to fight back. I think of Henry, his jazz tunes filling our old kitchen, and know this isn't my shame, it's his. Sophie steps forward, her hands shaking as she holds a letter, her eyes fierce with loyalty. "I found this in Ryan's office," she says, her voice steady despite her guilt over our past distance, "when I missed her 25th birthday for a hospital shift." She hands me the paper, Henry's handwriting clear. "Ryan, the $50,000 is for Evelyn's future, not yours." My breath catches proof he planned to use it for himself. The room stills, my cousin's jaw dropping, Sophie's loyalty a bridge rebuilt. Later at my house, I meet the women Grace neglected by her children, Pat grieving her husband, Linda abandoned by hers, Ellen forgotten by her community, Ruth excluded by her grandkids. We sit around the table, the Lay bright, each sharing a story. Grace's voice cracks. "My kids haven't called in years." Pat whispers, "I'm invisible since he died." Linda's eyes glisten. Ruth's hands twist. Ellen's sigh is heavy. Their pain mirrors mine, their strength kindling mine. Diane, her own son's betrayal a shadow, nods. "We're enough," she says, her resilience a spark. My resolve peaks, the women's stories, weaving a new family, one that sees me. I book the villa, my fingers steady on the laptop, the travel app glowing with new plans. The airport hums as we prepare to board, the women's laughter, bright against the bustle of travelers. I place Henry's photo in my suitcase, its frame nestled between sundresses, a symbol of love unbroken. Diane adjusts her scarf. Grace clutches a book. Pat hums softly. Linda smiles. Ellen laughs. Ruth's eyes shine. "This is home." I whisper, my voice firm, as we board the plane, united our suitcases, heavy with hope. Sophie hugs me, her letter in my pocket, her loyalty a warmth that eases the sting of Ryan's justification. I think of Mia's bracelet, her love a light in this darkness. Did I lose a son or gain a family? The question settles soft as the Lay's petals. The plane's engines hum, and I feel liberated. My heart soaring with the women beside me, each a piece of my new story. The airport's chaos fades as we board the Lays, scent clinging to my hands. Henry's photo tucked safe feels like a promise kept. Ryan's words, his greed, his destruction, they're behind me now. Sophie's letter, the women's stories, Diane's strength, they're my future. Grace's voice breaks the quiet, her eyes misty as she mentions finding Henry's photo in the villa's guestbook later. What memory will it spark? The plane lifts, and I lean back, the women's laughter, a melody, the horizon bright with possibility. I'm not just a mother anymore. I'm Evelyn, and this is my family, chosen and true. Grace holds Henry's photo, her eyes misty, as the Hawaiian villa glows with warmth. This feels like home. The ocean waves crashing gently beyond the open windows, fairy lights twinkling on the patio. I stand in the dining room, the air thick with salt, and hope my heart lighter than it's been in years. Henry's smile anchors me, steady in its walnut frame, a piece of our 1984 honeymoon carried here. But Ryan's betrayal, his text, his smashed box, his useless sneer still stings a shadow I want to shake. Will it ever fade? The villa's wooden floors creak under my feet, the lei from the airport still draped over a chair, its petals a promise of peace. I've brought 5 women, Grace, Pat, Linda, Ellen, Ruth, to this place funded by my $22,000, not for Ryan's greed, but for our healing. His email, his voice, his demands, they're behind me now. I'm Evelyn, liberated, and this is my family. The women settle around the dining table, the ocean's breeze curling through the room. I place Henry's photo at the center, its frame catching the fairy light's glow. Grace, her hands worn from caring for her sister, speaks first. My kids haven't called in years, she says, her voice soft, cracking. Pat, her eyes shadowed by grief, adds, since my husband died, I'm invisible. Linda, abandoned by her husband, whispers, I wasn't enough. Ellen, forgotten by her community sighs, I faded away. Ruth, excluded by her grandkids, twists her hands. They don't see me, their stories mirror mine, $22,000 in sacrifices. Ryan's, you're a burden. Lauren's, push. My throat tightens, but their strength lifts me. We're not just mothers, grandmothers, sisters. We're women seen here together. The waves crash steady, and I feel liberation budding my heart, opening like the villa's windows. This is what family means, not blood, but shared scars. My phone buzzes, Sophie's name flashing. Mom Mia and I want to visit, she says, her voice warm, her loyalty, a bridge rebuilt from her guilt over that missed 25th birthday. We're with you. I smile, but another email pings Ryan demanding, we're in debt, Mom. You owe us. Help. My jaw tightens, his unrepentant greed. A slap after his insults, his smashed box, his hidden $50,000. Diane, her scarf bright, leans over. Delete it, Evelyn. She says, her voice firm with her own resilience she cut off her son's demands years ago. I nod my finger, hovering over the screen. The fairy lights flicker, the ocean's rhythm urging me on. I press delete, the email vanishing, and my chest lifts free. He's not my family, I say, my voice steady. Sophie's call, the women's stories, Diane's strength, they're enough. Ryan's career failures, his bowing to Lauren's lavish dreams, don't own me anymore. We gather on the patio for a luau, the table laden with pineapple and grilled fish, the air alive with laughter. I light a candle by Henry's photo, its flame dancing. Each woman lights one, honoring a forgotten memory. Grace recalls her sister's smile, Pat, her husband's laugh, Linda, a lost friend, Ellen, a kind neighbor, Ruth, a grandchild's hug. I light mine, whispering for Henry who saw me. The flames glow a circle of light, and I feel whole, liberated. This is my family, I say, my voice clear. Diane raises her glass, her eyes bright. To us, she toasts her strength, a mirror of mine. The ocean hums, the fairy lights twinkle, and I know I've chosen right. Is family born or built from shared scars? The question settles soft as the breeze, my heart full. As we clear the table, Grace flips through the villa's guestbook, pausing. Evelyn, look, she says, her voice catching. She holds an old photo of Henry tucked in the pages, his smile kind, a stranger's note beside it. He helped me when I was lost. My breath catches a micro twist, sparking a memory of Henry's generosity. The women gather, their eyes misty, and I clutch my candle, its wax dripping. The patio glows, the ocean steady, but a note tucked in Henry's photo frame catches my eye, its edge peeking out. What final words did he leave? The waves whisper, and I reach for it, my heart ready for whatever truth it holds. Chapter 11, Burning the Past, Word Count. 1. 200 words. Henry's note tucked in his photo frame reads, You're my strength, Evelyn. The ocean roars, urging me to let go, its waves crashing against the Hawaiian beach under a moonlit sky. The fire pit glows its flames, dancing on the sand, evoking closure and renewal. I stand with 5 women, Diane, Grace, Pat, Linda, Ellen, Ruth, their faces soft in the flickering light, the air thick with salt and freedom. This trip was meant for us, not Ryan, not Lauren, not their betrayal. Henry's smile, steady in its walnut frame, anchors me, but I wonder what legacy will I leave now? Ryan's unapologetic email. "We're in debt, Mom. You owe us," lingers like a bruise, his greed, a shadow I'm ready to burn away. The $22,000 I saved, the $50,000 he hid, his smashed box, his useless sneer. They're chains I've broken. The fire crackles and I feel liberated, my heart soaring with the women beside me, my chosen family. We form a circle on the beach, the sand cool beneath our bare feet, the moonlight glinting silver on the waves. Linda speaks first, her voice steady. "I'm not invisible anymore," she says, her eyes bright, no longer dimmed by her husband's abandonment. Pat whispers, "I'm enough," her grief for her husband softened by this moment. Grace, her hands worn from caregiving, smiles. "I'm seen here." Ellen, forgotten by her community, laughs softly. "I belong." Ruth, excluded by her grandkids, nods. "I'm home." Their truths, raw and real, mirror mine. Ryan's, "You're a burden." Lauren's, push the email's erasure. I hold Henry's photo, its frame warm in my hands, my heart full. The fire pit pops its warmth, wrapping us like a hug. Diane, her scarf fluttering, meets my gaze, her own healing from her son's estrangement, a quiet strength. "Your turn, Evelyn," she says, her voice a spark. I nod, my liberation peaking the ocean's rhythm, urging me to release the past. I reach into my bag, pulling out an old family photo, Ryan, Lauren, their kids years ago, all smiles. My fingers tremble, but my resolve holds. This was my dream, I say, my voice clear. But it's not my family. I light the photo's edge, holding it over the fire pit. The flames catch, consuming Ryan's grin, Lauren's smirk, the lie of togetherness. The women gasp, then cheer, their voices rising with the sparks. Grace tosses a letter from her kids, Pat a wedding band, Linda a faded postcard, Ellen a old ticket, Ruth a grandchild's drawing. The fire roars, eating our pain, the smoke curling toward the stars. My chest lifts the weight of Ryan's betrayal, his email, his smashed box, his hidden $50,000 burning away. The audience's outrage at his greed fuels my stand, but this moment is mine, a symbolic release. Diane claps, her eyes bright. "You're free," she says, her own liberation echoed. The waves crash, and I know I've chosen right. I step to the ocean's edge, Henry's photo in hand, the note's words, "You're my strength," a micro twist affirming he foresaw my courage. I place the frame on a rock, the moonlight catching his smile. I'm free. I whisper, my voice mingling with the waves. The women join me, their arms around me, their laughter a melody over the fire's crackle. Diane's leadership, her strength from cutting off her son, binds us. Grace's caregiving, Pat's grief, Linda's loss, Ellen's solitude, Ruth's exclusion. They're my sisters, now our scars a shared legacy. The fire pit glows Hawaiian music drifting from the villa, slow and sweet. We sway barefoot, dancing under the moonlight, our shadows long on the sand. Did I let go of them or find myself? The question settles soft as the breeze, my heart light with truth. The night deepens, the fire's embers fading, but our circle holds strong. I glance at my bag, the lei still draped over it, its petals bright. Sophie's text pings her words, glowing. "Mom, I wrote you something. Check your bag." My heart skips. What did she say? The ocean hums, the fairy lights twinkle, and I reach for the bag, my fingers brushing the lei. Henry's note, his photo, the women's laughter. They're my legacy now, not Ryan's demands. The waves whisper, and I'm ready for Sophie's words, for whatever truth they hold. As I sit in my den, the storm's rumble fading, the frozen travel fund feels like my first step toward freedom, a choice to honor my worth over Ryan's betrayal. Henry's letter promising $50,000 for my future reminds me that love endures even when family falters. In life, we sometimes give everything to those who overlook us, but true family is built on those who see our scars and stay Sophie's loyalty. Mia's hug, Diane's strength taught me that. By letting go of those who diminish us, we make room for bonds that lift us up like the women I'll soon take to Hawaii. If this story stirred your heart, share your own memories of love or loss in the comments. Your voice matters, and I'd love to hear it.